Welcome to our digital ethno-narrative project about Azhar Akesh. She is from the capital city Astana in Kazakhstan. This presentation was made by Carly Cich, Megan James, and Aaron O'Brien for Family Social Science 3102, Family Systems and Diversity at the University of Minnesota.
Kazakhstan is an Asian country that was formerly part of the Soviet Union. It is south of Russia and northwest of China. In Kazakhstan, there is an average of 2.25 children in each family. The youngest son is supposed to care for the elderly parents as he gets older. This involves having close ties even after he moves out. The primary religion of Kazakhstan is Muslim, with Christianity, primarily Russian Orthodox, being a second with 26.2% and Muslim being 70.2%. Kazakhstan strongly supports equal opportunities for women. The mean age of a woman at her first childbirth is 25 years old.
My name is Azhar Akesh. I'm an international student from Kazakhstan. I am a junior at the U, double majoring in political science and economics. So yeah, and next year I'll be graduating.
That's like terrifying.
Terrifying? No, it's not. It's awesome. I'm so done with school.
Fair enough.
Well, usually in my home country, like family values, they play an important part, like of, in every like Kazakh's life, Kazakh person's life. So, but like, however, my parents and I, like my family, they moved a lot when I was little, so that really affected me growing up as a child and just like shaped me into who I am today. But still, like, there's a saying that no matter where you are, like, it doesn't matter because where you are with your family, that matters, because that's valuable, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So as of right now, my family lives in Kazakhstan in the capital city Astana, and my dad, he's like the breadwinner of the family. He works in an oil company, whereas my mom, she, like most of her life, she dedicated into bringing us up and raising us, and like teaching us and etc. So she was really, I don't know, I would say that like by the Kazakh standards in the Kazakh society, women are pressured to like sit at home and look after the children, but it's the 21st century, so that does not apply to us anymore. Yeah, and so she was kind of pressured into doing that because she thought that if she will be working, she won't be able to dedicate much of her time, and that will be growing up like unaware of, you know, like the love and the all the norms of like living life and stuff like that. So so she was a housewife. I also have like two younger siblings, so I'm the eldest in the family. I have a younger brother, his name is Arslan, and I have a younger sister. She's like the youngest in the family. Her name is Amina. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention the names of my parents. My dad's name is Adilbek, and my mom's name is Imhan. Yeah.
Awesome. Do you want to stop it? Okay.
It's not like a term that one would use in the like Kazakh society or like my country, but it's just like me living in the United States. I've learned a lot, so I just incorporated
Just
what
kind
you
of
said. Yeah.
melded in.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. For some reason, like girls are like expected to cook. It's not like recommended, but it's just like expected of girls to know how to cook. So Yeah, my mom and my grandma, they've played like an important role in like raising me as a girl, so they taught me all the necessary things like for me to learn in life, and cooking was part of them. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, I hate cooking. I mean, I like it. It's not that I enjoy doing it, you know. I do it because I don't want to eat American food. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, but I don't know. I like my own food and I want to be healthy, so
It's
yeah.
home. If people, gravitate towards home.
Exactly. So
Makes
I don't
sense.
have. No offense.
Oh,
I
no.
don't have any, I mean, I love burgers and pizza, but you can't eat them all the time, right? Yeah, I just want to like say that not all like families and not all girls are pressured. It's just like some it's just like it would depend on the families and it would depend on like the your parents, cuz some parents are liberal and they're like more outgoing and they have more liberal views than like let's say other parents, right? And it would also depend on like your socioeconomic status, cuz if it's a poor family, then yeah, like a lot is put on like girls' shoulders, whereas like sorry, like more, I don't know, like wealthy families are not really pressuring their daughters to do anything. They more, like on the other hand, they put emphasis into the education, because I that's like really important. And I was really lucky and unfortunate because my parents, they wanted me to pursue education and not just have like a miserable life back in Kazakhstan, I would say. That's a very tricky question because when I was living in my home country, I was longing. I was just like desiring to come to the U.S. I don't know why. Just like everyone living outside of the U.S. had this perception of the America being the greatest country. And just like it's just the dream, like, oh my god, I need to go there. But once you actually end up in the United States, you realize that it's not the case, and you see the real picture, you know. And because I'm a political scientist, I tend to see a lot of different pictures. um, yeah, so sorry, can you repeat the question? I think I kind of messed up.
No, you're good. I asked if you wanted to, what are your career plans?
Yeah, that's right. So like, and like based on that, I like before coming here, I really wanted to like after graduation, I really wanted to stay and probably like get a job or something like that, or maybe continue my education. But now I'm not really sure, I would say. I still want to pursue my like higher education, like getting my master's degree, but I'm not really sure if I want to stay and live here or yeah.
Or do you even think about maybe you'd go to a different country? I mean,
Probably, yeah. I love traveling. I would love to like travel and live in other places.
yeah.
I wanted to talk about like Hollywood movies because usually like when you grow up as a child, you tend to watch a lot of like American Hollywood movies. So in those movies, I would always see like a lot of sexualization and how like men and women are being sexualized, and how like sex is a totally normal topic to talk about. Whereas in my home country, it was more of like shameful and embarrassing, and you couldn't actually open up about those things. So when I got here, I learned about such thing as sex education, and that sex education is actually required in high schools and like through college life and etc. And I was actually really surprised, but I think it's really important to know about these things because if you don't, then children will keep like making mistakes, and you know you better inform them. They like better be safe and sorry. So yeah, that was one thing. Another thing that surprised me was discrimination, because before coming to the U.S., I always thought like that America is such a friendly and open-minded country. It's welcoming. It's I don't know, it's just really kind, I would say. But then when I started studying at the U of M, I've seen a lot of discrimination and just like a lot of people of color just being discriminated, and I don't know. A
You
lot
talk
of
about
those
white
issues.
privilege.
Yeah, like
Do you
white
want to say
privilege. Yeah.
your 2
How,
cents
like,
on it?
I actually didn't even know about such a thing as white privilege, but yeah, like last semester I took this wonderful class, political ideas and ideologies, and they talked a lot about like white privilege and how the system in the U.S. is built in such a way that white like people are well off and like the other people of color are not, and because and it's just so, how can I say this, like it's on a really like I don't even know, like
level.
invisible level where white people don't even realize that they have this privilege, and you know, like they think that everything happening is supposed to happen, whereas it's not the case. So yeah. Oh, and I also wanted to talk. Sorry, I also
No, it's
wanted.
okay.
I also wanted to talk about like mental health issues, because I
Yes.
think that's just wow. It's just so important. Yeah. Um, I think in a lot of countries, people don't realize that depression, anxiety play, or I don't want to say important. I want to say something else. Just they just
They're really big.
they're really big issues, and people should care about them. And I think the U.S. is doing a really good job of, like giving it attention and talking about it, and so like, because when we can talk about it, we can connect with more people and just share about our experiences, and that way we can make our problems easier, in a way. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. I would say that we don't have any like eating disorders back in my home country, but we like I know that a lot of kids are being pressured like by their parents to get a really good education, and kids don't even realize that they have depression and anxiety and that they always have to study, and because of that, they have multiple suicide attempts, and kids like each year they like die a lot because of those attempts. Um, yeah, and people like in my home country, they don't even give attention to that. They don't give it a meaning. They think that, oh, you know, they're just like pressured by their parents, and it's so that you don't have to like pressure a kid to study more, but it's like an iceberg. It's much deeper than that. You know, there are multiple issues, like the education is not that good, and the teachers, because teachers are like paid less, they don't give a really good education, and so there's like corruption as well. Like they give money to teachers to actually give a good education to students, and it's just multiple factors. So it's not just like one factor playing a key role, I would say. In terms of the media, I would say that the media is really censored, and there's a lot of like propaganda around the media, because basically what happens is that people, the normal people in the country, they watch the news, and they don't even know that the news are censored. The news are like there's propaganda in the news, and they see like all the good stuff happening in the country, like, oh my god, the president did such incredible great things, and our country is like getting so much better, and all those kind of examples. So yeah, and so they have this illusion that everything in their country is great, and that they're happy, that they're living in a prosperous country, and that's not really true. Yeah, but in terms of like watching regular movies or TV shows, I would say that I can see my own race, my nationality identified and like represented in the media, represented in the movies. Um, so I don't really have like any problems with that. But I would also say that there's a lot of diversity in my home country. There are a lot of Russian people, Germans, Uzbeks, so all the people from like the times of the Soviet Union, because Kazakhstan was part of the Soviet Union, and like all those races and nationalities, like they ended up living in my country. I don't think I would see them represented that much in the media. Yeah, if that makes sense.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You don't have to turn the camera. I'm ready.
Yeah, like for New Year or for any other holiday, I would expect my parents to, like my family to like go visit my more extended family, like my grandparents, my cousins, my other relatives, aunts, uncles, etc. So, but I would say that like not all of us live together. We all live separately, like all in different areas in different cities. But when we can and when we have time, we can like meet up and just spend that family time together. And so in my country, so there's this like rule that every family has to follow. If if you're the eldest in the family, you don't necessarily have to live with your parents, so you can just like go and like live in a different country or maybe in a different city and just like make your own family. Whereas like the and like it's also it also doesn't apply to the middle like child who was like raised in the family. He can also go and do whatever he wants. But the last child, the youngest, he actually has to stay with his family because I don't even know why. It's part of tradition. It's a cultural thing. But I know that like so. My dad, he has two brothers, and my dad is the eldest in the family. And I know that two of his brothers, they live in the same city as my grandparents. And the youngest in the family, he doesn't necessarily live with my grandparents, but he visits them all the time. Like, I would say every weekend. And they always, like, spend more time together, so. It's more of patriarchy, I would say. Yeah, it's more dominated because so what is expected of girls is we think of girls as guests. So guests like in the like Kazakh standards, they are always treated like well, and they're looked after, and they are being taken care of. So girls, they don't play, I don't know, they don't play this dominant role, but after they get married, so that means that they would have to leave the house and go into a different house, right, where they would take the care of the husband's children and stuff like that. So if there's a boy, that's actually a good thing because then you can like pass on the household and pass on the traditions, and that like the son can create a family and pass on the family name. So. I would say that like it would depend, cause I also have so my mother, on the other hand, she has 4 sisters. So and I know that like the youngest 2 sisters, they also come and visit their parents, their families, but not that often because they also live in a different city than their family. So, but I know that like so my mom's sister, like, who is, how can I say this? So she's the oldest after my mom. She actually takes care of the family, and she actually took this role on to take care of the family because they're old and she has a job, and also she doesn't have a husband. So she, for some reason, just like happened to be this way. She is taking care of the family, and I would say it depends. It's not really gendered,
Okay.
So yeah, because if my sister, she decides to live with her parents, she can do that, you know. She's not going to be pressured into like, oh no, you have to get married. Actually, no, that's a completely different topic. I can talk about
No, yeah, you
later
can talk.
on.
I was actually just gonna ask you about marriage.
But if she doesn't want to get married, she can stay with the family and just take care of them. But if she will marry, she has to leave, and the son has to stay with the family. I hate this question. I hate this question so much. Not my favorite question.
You don't have to. You don't have to answer.
No, it's just like I have to answer it because it's important, you know.
Yeah.
Then you would understand the whole picture of the culture and stuff like that. But to be honest, that rule does not apply to me because I don't want to live by those rules. But I would say that most of the girls, they do get pressured into getting married. It's really, it's like high stakes, you know. Like, so if you're 25 or you're like turning 26, 27, that means you're like an old fruit. Nobody wants to be with you. Nobody wants to marry you, you know? It's almost as if you're old, you know? Nobody wants to be with you. That's like just what I said. So the maximum age would be 24. And yeah, so that's a huge problem because girls in my country, they marry off really young. I would say 17, 18 years old. Mm-hmm.
That's
and
like
I'm
me.
really
Oh my
fortunate.
God.
I'm fortunate to like be here, to have my own rights, to live as a human being, to get my education, yeah, to express myself. I don't know, anything. Mm-hmm. Kazakhstan is predominantly a Muslim country, so people in my country, they follow the Islam, they follow the Sharia law. So stuff like the LGBTQ issues or mental health issues or I would say, I don't know, culture, like diversity issues that is not really accepted and not like widely spoken of in my home country, which I think is bad. I don't agree with that. I think on the other hand, we should talk about those things. So yeah. Try to follow like some norms.
Okay.
But to be honest, no, not really.
No, that's okay. Do you want to say maybe how it shaped you or how it's led you to not be, not to follow social norm or?
Yeah, for some reason there's been a lot of hatred against like Muslims nowadays, and I don't understand why, because Islam is one of the most peaceful religions out there, and like when it comes to the hijab, the women have their own right and they can choose not to wear or not to wear the hijab. Like I chose not to wear it. I chose not to like really go into that because in the Quran it says that like girls are free-willed and they have an option of not to wear the hijab. So yeah, like I don't know, for some reason like everyone thinks that, oh my god, there's just like women are being oppressed, and this idea of like just like women are not having the rights to speak out and just like express themselves. I think yes, there are some issues like that, but not really dangerous. I mean, it's not really deep. Like yeah, in like my country is not really that religious. Like it's not really religious as, let's say, Saudi Arabia, where yes, women do get oppressed, and for some reason people outside that religion, they think they have this they want to like help save those like women from that. And I mean, you're not God, who are you to like save them, like just if they want to be saved, they'll ask for help. Like they'll save themselves, but you don't have to go and save them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just like want to talk about that, because that's just like something that really really disappoints me, to be honest. Yeah. I think the American experience did actually shape my perspectives and views on the world. Which I'm internally grateful for, because otherwise I wouldn't have the same perspectives and the same views as I do right now. So yeah, when I will come to raising my own children, I would definitely go with the liberal side. I want them to do whatever they want as long as they're decent human beings. If they feel like they are, I don't know, bisexual or lesbian, go ahead, be lesbian, do whatever you want, love whoever you want. Just please don't kill anyone, and don't do stupid things. Just be a be a decent human being. So yeah, in terms of mental health, please open up. Please reach out to people. Please get help, because if you won't, that's gonna end badly. And please respect other cultures and respect other races and nationalities and backgrounds, because diversity is what makes us stronger, right?
Yeah.
So
No.
yeah. Yeah, so my family always knew that I would end up in a foreign country, just studying. I don't know why, just it's always been the case. But they always told me to, no matter where I am and no matter with whom I am, I should never forget about my roots and my identity. I think that's the message that I want to bring out to all the people, that because identity is what makes you who you are. It shapes you to who you are. So never forget your identity, and just love yourself for who you are, I guess.
Special thanks to Azhar for sharing her experiences with us and discussing her family. From talking to her, we now have a better understanding on Kazakh culture and the similarities and differences from American culture.